Welcome everyone to the Hustings for the Mary I Student Union Election 2021. This is essentially an Ask the Candidates session for you guys, the student body. So the format of tonight is we are going to start off with the part-time positions and then move on to the full-time officerships. The full-time officerships being the president and vice president. So what we'll do is we'll have any candidates going for the same role on the screen together. They will each have 1 minute at the start to give their opening remarks and then another minute after the Q&A to give their closing statements. So in between, you guys will be given the opportunity to ask a question to the candidates, but keep in mind that it must be an open question for both candidates, as each of them will be given the opportunity to answer. You can ask a question using the Q&A button that should be at the bottom of your screen down here. Yes, and we would ask that you be typing and submitting your questions while the candidates are giving their opening statements. That way they'll be ready to go once the Q&A starts and there won't be any delays. Please keep in mind as well, guys, that because we are doing this in an online format, there may be some technical difficulties along the way. So if we do encounter any problems, we will try to resolve it as quickly as we can. And we appreciate your patience at that time. But let's hope nothing comes up. So without any further delay, let's just get right into it. So the first position is for the postgraduate officer. So Christine, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Hi, Christine. Perfect. So Christine, give me 1 second now. So you know the drill, you'll have 1 minute to give your opening statement, and then we'll have questions welcome in the chat. As I said, if any of the students have a question for Christine, start typing them now and submitting them now. So Christine, whenever you're ready.
All right, my name is Christine Rathclav. I'm a PhD student in the Mary I Philosophy Department. I'm also currently the postgraduate officer, so what I'm doing here is running for re-election. I have a strong history of leadership and project management, as well as developing and running student groups, both here and at my undergraduate college. I really enjoy this role, and I love working with the people that I've encountered, being a part of the Students' Union, and I want to continue doing this. Thanks.
That's perfect. Thanks a million, Christine. So if anyone has any questions, they can type it in now. So the first question, Christine, what would you do? What initiatives would you introduce to make sure the postgraduate community feel included with college life at MIC?
Right. Yeah, this is difficult considering we're in the middle of a pandemic. You know, as long as it's dragged on, we're still in it. And you know, in spite of the fact that we kind of have Zoom fatigue, we do still have to continue to push forward with the online presence that we have. What I would do in order to sort of combat some of that fatigue is enact a couple of different seminars and series. First would be, and something that I've already done, which I would continue. So I instituted office hours for the postgraduate officer position this semester, and I would continue that as well. So that was one initiative. The second thing that I've been working on is a public speaking sort of communications type thesis presentation series, which would be open to everybody, not just postgraduates, but through the student union. So that would be something that not only undergraduates who are encountering, you know, the need to start learning how to present and talk about their thesis, but also for postgraduates, master students, PMEs, postgraduate PhD students, anybody in the postgraduate community who wants to learn a little bit more about how to sort of step out of their comfort zone and talk to people about their ideas. So that would be sort of the bulk of the seminar series. So that's something I have been working on and will continue to work on. The other piece of what I do to make sure that all students feel included, not just postgraduates, is sort of an advocacy role that I've taken on. it started because there were issues that postgraduate community members were having. And through sort of trial and error, sometimes you end up in a position to relay information to others, learn where certain information goes, and learn what through networking what pieces of the puzzle have to fit where. But this has allowed me to sort of piece everything together so that things can run really smoothly. And when a student has an issue, I know exactly where to send them now. So this has allowed me to not only resolve certain issues, but it also allows me to, in the future, continue advocating for the fair treatment of students, the inclusion of students, and equality for all students.
Perfect. And then a follow-up question for you, Christine. What did you enjoy most about holding a position last year?
The people. Absolutely the people. I mean, there isn't really a crazy answer to this question because, I have been in academia for a while doing, obviously undergraduate work, master's work, and now PhD work, but I was in the corporate world for a while as well. And so, taking a leadership role isn't necessarily something that's foreign to me. However, having met and befriended so many wonderful Irish people, and now to be able to do that at the student union level as well, has just been an absolute blessing in my life. And so it's absolutely the people that keep me coming back.
That's perfect. Thank you very much, Christine. So then finally, a minute for closing remarks. So just give me 1 second now. Right. Yeah, you're good to go.
Thanks. So the role of postgraduate officer is to represent postgraduate students of the Mary Students' Union, as well as to represent on boards and committees and to the UL postgraduate community. I have spent my time representing students and advocating for student inclusion and student equality for the last 5 months. It's been a very rewarding experience. It's been an excellent use of my skills, and I want to continue to do that for the Mary community. When you vote on Thursday, please vote Christine Rathclav for postgraduate officer. Thanks.
Thanks a million, Christine. That was brilliant. So next then, guys, we'll be talking about the role of welfare and equality officer. So Christine, perfect. And Shona, if you're there, would you mind turning on your camera and mic? Thanks a million.
Hi.
Hi, Shona. So you know the drill. 1 minute for the opening remarks. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, my name is Shona Behan, and as you heard, I am going for the welfare and equality position. Honestly, I love the idea of equality, especially in a student body where you feel that you can talk to other people and that you feel you can talk to someone about your issue. And I want to be that person for someone. I don't have much experience, but I've always been a good listener. So I really want to be able to show people that they can talk to me and I am willing to listen.
That's perfect. Thank you for that, Shona. So if anyone has any questions, you can send them in now. So Shona, first question here for you. This year has been a challenging year for all students in particular. It has impacted their mental health and well-being. What campaign weeks would you run in order to promote this at MIC?
Okay, well, obviously for campaign weeks, Mental Health Week would be very important to improve and promote mental health awareness and to give people ideas of how they can help themselves and how they can help other people to better combat their mental health. Others would probably be campaigns where people can get together, obviously, once COVID is over, where they can get together and they can get to know people maybe that they may not have known before, and they can get to know people from other courses. so that people can feel equal and to know that everyone is in the same position. Everyone may be studying a different course, but they are studying, again, to be teachers and to be whatever, really. So I want people to know that. Also, for me, equality, so pride would be very important as well, because obviously pride is very important. And as someone part of the LGBT community, I would want other people who are part of that community to know that they are valued and that there are other people like them and that they are represented.
Very good. And then follow-up question for you, Shauna. What qualities do you have that I think will be valuable to you in this role?
Qualities, okay, well, I'm a kind person, but like I said before, I'm also a very good listener. I've always been able to listen to other people's problems and do my very best to give them the advice that they may need to help them in their situation. I'm also a very hard worker, so I would always be willing to work with people and always be willing to work hard, especially with workshops and seminars to help promote certain things, such as the rights that students are allowed, especially students in minority and disability groups. So that would be very important to me. And then I like to think that I am someone who people can get along with. So I'm very open-minded as well.
Perfect, brilliant. So Shauna, then finally your closing statement then. So you can finish whenever you're ready.
Well, obviously, as I said, I am in the middle, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
You're fine, take your time. I'll start the clock again if you'd like. Perfect.
Okay, well, this would mean a great deal to me because I've never done something like this before, and it would really give me a real sense of pride to know that I can fulfill this role and that people are willing to look up to me and know that they also think that I'm in a position that I can help them. So tomorrow, when the voting starts, I really hope you vote Shauna Behan for Welfare and Equality Officer. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Shauna. So that's the Irish and Culture Officer position. Sorry, that is the Welfare and Equality Officer position. And now we're moving on to the Irish and Culture Officer. So Corey, are you there?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Corey, 1 minute opening statement.
Perfect. So the Uvacoria, Corey Negronius and I'm Dom, and I am running for the Irish Culture Officer in Mary I. I'm a third year Irish and music student, and I'm running for this position because I really believe I can bring the most to it and for the benefit of all Mary I students, be it on Limerick or Thurles. I believe my two subjects, Ceol agus Gaeilge, I think they give me a really good, well-rounded outlook when it comes to promoting Irish and culture in Mary I. With Irish, it's something I've always had a huge love for, and I've also been working with the Seomra Graduate in Mary I the last few weeks, which I have gotten such good experience from in terms of working remotely and to promote Irish, but also in putting on events and listening to people's thoughts and feelings when it comes to learning Irish. Studying music as well, I feel has given me a really good outlook in terms of promoting culture. It's really made me aware of a huge amount of cultures we're so lucky to share between our two campuses. So this is something I think really would benefit me in this position as well. So yeah, I'd really appreciate your vote tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Corey. So if anyone has any questions, they can send them in now. So Corey, first question for you. How would you promote the Irish language on both campuses?
Okay, so I think this is something I've been really actually lucky while everything else is a little bit harder to do remotely, I found working remotely has really benefited me in terms of promoting Irish, because it makes it so accessible for students on both campuses to access. So it's not like you're only running an event on the Limerick campus. You're essentially running events for both campuses at all times with everything that you post. So I would really hope to upkeep my activity on social media just to continue this. With the Show McCodriff, we have started a weekly meeting on a Wednesday where people can come on and just chat about their day or things that they might want to talk about at Scuilga. And we've had a lot of Thurles students take part in these as well, which has been amazing, because I personally didn't know any before, and now I know a lot of them that I know also have an interest in Irish. So if I was elected in this position, be it remotely or on campus, one of my main priorities would really be to upkeep the equality of opportunities in terms of promoting Irish in Mary.
That's perfect. And a follow-up question for you. As the student population is becoming more diverse and multicultural, what campaigns would you introduce to support all cultures at MIC?
Okay, so something as well I feel I really benefited from working on the social media aspect of the Show McCodriff is I'm constantly aware of the different events on the calendar that are coming up. So I think this is really important to keep up with and keep updated with, and run campaigns such as we'll say, for example, for St. Patrick's Day, you could have such a huge opportunity to run events here to make people aware of Irish culture for those that aren't aware of it. And the same thing can be said for any kind of multicultural activities, any multicultural events. So that would really be one of my top priorities, would be to liaise with the offices and with the Vice President and the President in terms of organising events and making these things accessible again for students on both campuses to celebrate the cultures that we are so lucky to share.
That's brilliant. So thank you very much for that. And then finally, your closing statement, Corey, whenever you're ready.
Perfect. Okay. So I just want to say again how appreciative I am for the support that I've gotten since last night when the nominations were put up. And this is a position I really, really feel I can get the most out of, and one that I would be honoured to work as if elected. I have great experience promoting Irish and culture online already, and I think these skills can only be built upon should we be fortunate enough to return to campus. My main hope is that I can inspire people to just really make use of their language and culture, be it Irish or a different language. Even last night I kept rereading my manifesto and I was getting panicked because I kept picking up different grammar mistakes that I might have made, and I think that really just kind of explains why I want to do this, because I want people to be proud of themselves for using their language and for making use of their culture even if they make mistakes along the way. So I'm so happy that I've decided to run for this, be it whatever outcome. So Mila Mahagaev, and I would really appreciate your vote tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thanks a million, Corey.
Thanks a million.
So before the Thurles officers, I just have to remind you guys as well, what we're doing is we're doing 2 questions for the part-time positions, 3 for vice pres, and then 4 for the candidates of the president. So if for whatever reason we're not asking your question, just make sure if you want the question asked, get it in straight away. And what I'll try and do is I'll look through them and I'll try and target the one that addresses all the ones that you're looking for. So finally then, the Thurles officer, we have 2 candidates. So John and Emily, if you want to hop on. Yeah, perfect. So Emily, you can go first with your opening statement. You've 1 minute on the clock. Right,
brilliant. Hi everyone, my name. What I want to get across in my opening statement is that I'm the only candidate truly suited to this role due to my work ethic and my approachability. I like to think I'm a kind person, and my caring and compassionate nature can be seen in my previous experience and the numerous charities I work with, and the fact that it has not taken me being an elected to a specific role in the past year to work hard on various issues and represent my peers over the last year and a half, I suppose. No candidate is friendlier, as industrious, or as good crack as I am. My manifesto, my priorities, and my experience can all be viewed on my Instagram, and I know I'll be able to implement my ideas far easier and quicker, as I won't need as much familiarisation with the role, the campus, or the majority of students as other candidates will. I'll hit the ground running on my priorities and my manifesto points, as I'm already working alongside the current Thurles officer on some of the main issues that are due to arise in the coming academic year.
There, Emily. And then finally, 1 minute on the clock. John, your opening statement.
Oh, you can hear me there, can you?
I can hear you well.
Perfect. Okay, so guys, I'm a friendly Canadian. I'm also an Irish citizen. Name's John White. I'm running for the position of MIC Thirless Officer. I'm a mature student, and I'm currently class rep for first year business studies and accounting. As class rep, I'm always there to listen to people and to give my peers a voice. I'm very friendly and very approachable. If I don't know the answer to something, I'm not going to lie to you, but I will find out. As a mature student, experiences, you know, I've got experience in the business world as a manager and as a sales manager and a branch manager. Some of my priorities, I'd say, I want to share my business experience with students through interview techniques and CV preparations. You know, I want to work with lecturers and students to ensure extra resources are there if needed. I'm a massive advocate for student mental health and mental health in general. I want to make sure that everybody is looked after, every single student. If you guys have
Sorry,
any
John, that's
questions.
there.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, guys. Now, so we'll take some questions then. So first question here. So what I'll do is Emily, I'll ask you to answer first, and then John, you can answer then afterwards. So perfect. So the question is, how will you ensure you are representing the Thurles campus effectively whilst attending MISU executive committee meetings each week? So Emily?
Brilliant. That's a great question. Juggling a few different roles at once has never been an issue for me. I suppose you're aware, you know, I've organised Shops on the Gaeilge activities this week, but as I've mentioned in my opening statement, I have been working on various issues for students and for my peers over the past year and a half. I sit on various committees, the Limerick Youth Service Committee, Jigsaw Youth Mental Health Committee. There's a good few committees that I'm currently sitting on, and a few societies that I'm involved in. So I suppose the most important thing for me is time management. It's certainly not something that I struggle with at all. And you know, it all takes pre-planning. So I know I haven't been elected to the role yet, but I'm currently planning for the eventuality that I am. So I have my events planned, I have my contacts listed, I have all of my students and my peers taken into consideration. And you know, I'm reaching out to you guys, I'm listening to you guys, and I'm finding out what you want from me as a representative. As well as that, you know, I'm already working with various student union representatives across the country and learning from them. So I suppose that's the main thing for me.
Perfect. And then John, same question for you. How will you ensure that you are representing the Thurles campus effectively whilst attending MISU executive council meetings each week?
Well, I'd like to start by saying that my previous experience, I was a business, a branch manager as well as a sales manager. So I know all about juggling, you know, multiple, I'm a multitasker. I'm very organized, and as I mentioned previously, I'm friendly, approachable, positive, great work ethic. From my management experience, I know what it's like to work under pressure and to make sure that I'm results driven, as well as results driven. I'm you know, targets. So I love Thurles. I lived down there for a few months. I really enjoyed my time down there. As far as working and attending the meetings as well, as I said in my previous statements and in my manifesto there, I'm here to listen. So my main priority is the students, and making sure that I'm making myself available for the students, making sure that, you know, everything is being touched base on, and everybody's getting the right information. As well as that, I've got experience doing baseball coach and captain. You guys are more than welcome to call me captain if I make the position, or call me coach, whatever you guys want to do. But as well as I love being a mentor. In a previous position as well, I was working with kids who might not have the same equality or benefits as a lot of people would, and you know, they came up from broken homes and things like that. So I know what it's like, you know, to be a mentor and to help out, especially when you've got your own things going on. So I'm here for the students. And as far as juggling goes, as I say, I'm all about multitasking, and you know, I know how to make things right.
Perfect. And a second follow-up question, guys. So John, you'll be answering first this time, okay? So how will you increase the awareness of the significance of your position to students, both in Limerick and Thurles?
Sorry, could you repeat the question there? My internet.
No problem at all. So it's, how will you increase the awareness of the significance of your position to students both in Limerick and Thurles?
Well, I think it looks like for a lot of the positions there, a lot of Limerick students would be going for it, and I look to make myself available. I like to make contact with a lot of people. Currently, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a lot of online Zooms with. I am a first year student. I'm doing a lot of Zooms with a lot of the first year students and things like that. I'm making contacts through that. Through email and that kind of thing. So I think as far as Limerick students go, if they're making themselves available, I'm more than happy to work with them, and as well make sure that we're working together and that kind of thing. So I hope that answers the question. I'm not sure, my internet is a little bit spotty, so I did miss parts of that, but I think that's perfect. That's brilliant. Thanks, John. And then Emily, same question. And how will you increase the awareness of the significance of your position to students both in Limerick and Thurles?
So as I've mentioned, maybe I'm from Limerick, but I study and have lived in Thurles. Basically, I think to increase awareness of a position, you represent it the best way possible, and I am the best representative as Thurles officer. So I will increase the awareness, or show how significant and important the role of Thurles officer is through liaising with the connections that I have to the Limerick campus already. But as well, it's just through the events I provide, the support I provide, and it's just boosting the status of MIC Thurles as a great college, as we all know it is. We all know and love Thurles. Working with the locals, integration into the locality is very important to me. As I've mentioned in some videos, myself and Liam Kennedy, our love-hate relationship in the county bar, we just need to work on that and grow with it. But yeah, the significance of Thurles officer, I suppose, it's all about building bridges, keeping connections, and I suppose keeping up what I'm doing on social media and bringing awareness to the great thing that is the position of Thurles officer.
Brilliant. Thank you, Emily. So the final thing then, guys, closing statements. So John, you're good to go first. 1 minute on the clock whenever you're ready.
So guys, if I'm elected as Thurles officer there, I'll put the students first. I'm going to listen to the students at MIC Thurles. I'm going to work together with the students of Limerick, as well as lecturers, make sure that we bridge that gap between the two, make sure that we get closer together. As well as that, I'm offering a voice for all of the students. As well as that, my business previous knowledge stands to me, I think, for acumen and good process. And I think I'm friendly and approachable. I'm a happy guy. I'm positive. My maturity stands to me as well. I'm going to advocate for mental health, make sure everybody's looked after. And as well as that, I'm going to create some sweet events. So that's something to look forward to. But that's it.
Thank you, John. And Emily, same for you. So whenever you're ready, 1 minute on the clock.
So firstly, I'd like to thank you all for your questions. Thank you as well, John, for keeping me on my toes the whole way through this campaign. In short, I'm the most passionate candidate, and this means I'm the best representative for all students in MIC Thurles, no matter what year or what course you are in. I know Thurles and the locals like the back of my hand. I know the campus inside out, and I know I'm extremely hardworking, so there's absolutely no fear of me getting the job done to the highest possible standard. I understand how hard a year it has been on everyone, and it will take time for us to adjust back into college life in the coming academic year, but I also know and promise that I will do my utmost to be the friendly, familiar, smiley, happy, positive face that welcomes you back to campus with new events planned, new exciting priorities and projects, and ultimately the positive energy and eagerness to please that is essential for this role. Experience, innovation and dedication, most importantly, are on my side. Both Emily Thurles officer on Thursday, Scap on scale, agus Garb Neil Mahabif.
Brilliant, thank you, Emily. So those are your two candidates, guys, for the Thurles officership role. And that brings us to the end of the part-time officerships, and we're going to move on now to the vice president role. So if Aoife and Emma are there, and if you can turn on your mics and cameras. Yeah, perfect. So guys, I hope you know the drill by now. So what we're going to do is, Aoife, you get to give your opening statement first. 1 minute on the clock whenever you're ready.
Great. So, hey guys, I'm Aoife Gleason. I'm a fourth year BA in Contemporary and Applied Theatre Studies. and I'm running for MISU Vice President. So I just want to make it like really clear to everyone that like my main kind of concern in life is like helping others, and I just care about other people and their well-being. I think I'm really approachable, and I just love problem solving and helping others, and I just really want to help students in both their academic life and also in their personal life. So I'd love your vote and support this Thursday. Thanks.
Thank you, Aoife. And Emma, whenever you're ready, same 1 minute on the clock.
Hi everybody, my name is Emma and I would love your support in the upcoming election. I'm a final year ECC student and I have acted class rep for my 4 years. I've also was elected as chairperson of Union Council this year, so I feel like I have a lot of experience in all the different issues that can affect many different courses in the college. I am approachable and I have a real passion for academics and helping people and stuff like that, and I really want to focus on supporting students whatever we face in the next year. So I really hope you vote for me. Thanks.
Thank you very much, guys. So questions for you now. So Aoife, if you want to go first for this one. So the question is, if a student is having difficulties with his or her course, how could you help? So Aoife, you get to go first here.
Well, obviously it depends on the problem, first of all, but I would hope that any student could come and talk to me, no matter what it is, whether if it's with someone in their course or if it's an academic problem. But I would help them in their way, first of all, whether it's going to faculty or whatever it is. I would definitely try my best to help every student. I'd liaise a lot with the department heads and stuff, and I have no problem fighting for students. Like I like to be approachable, but I really believe in justice and equality, and really want to be the voice for students and fight for them when they're not able to themselves.
Thank you, Aoife. And that same question for you. If a student is having difficulties with his or her course, how would you help?
Like what Aoife said, it totally depends on what the difficulty is, but I suppose it's a real serious thing and it's something that I would really listen to them and figure out what the root of the problem is. And it's something that I have actually experienced myself. I spent 2 years in UL and ended up completely changing direction. So I do have that experience behind me, but I think the main thing is to listen to students, find out what the root of the problem is, and then help direct them into what steps come next.
Brilliant. Thank you, Emma. So second question then is, if the college decided to do something the students were against academically, i.e. changes within a particular course, how would you approach it and what would you do about it? So Emma, you can answer this one first.
So I have come across this in the last couple of years of placement changes through Union Council, and I guess the main thing is to listen to the students and follow the procedures. So like find out, is it the majority of students exactly, or is it just a small loud minority, you know? And then once we kind of have more concrete alternative options that the students will be happy with, then we can bring that to the relevant, I don't know, dean or course designers and talk to them about what steps need to be taken next. But I really think it is important for this role, when it comes to big academic changes like this, that we stay on top of decisions that are being made in the meetings that we have, so that we can identify any potential issues before they happen, because prevention is better than the cure, I suppose.
Brilliant. Thank you, Emma. And Aoife, same question then.
So I've never been on Union Council, or I haven't been a class rep, but I think I'd be fresh eyes and a fresh voice to this kind of work. I have been trained through my course and also producing with my desk to problem solve. And I think that stands to me, because I would find what's happening, really. You'll find out what's going on, and look at it from all sides really, but obviously my main concern is students, and if this big change like is really going to affect them in a bad way and they're not happy about it, I'm going to fight for students. Obviously I'll be nice about it with the faculty and liaise with them as best as I can, but I really want to fight for students.
That's perfect, thanks a million. So follow-up question then, guys. Aoife, you can answer this one first. So what would you do to support not only incoming first years, but all other different years?
Especially nowadays, I think this is really important. The first years going into second year haven't been on campus at all, and incoming first years, we don't know what the situation is going to be next year. We don't know if we're going to be online or on campus or half and half, or and I just think supporting all students is so important, because like especially like incoming students, they're going to be lost and we need to be there to help them. Obviously we need to help other students as well so much, like fourth years, like there's a lot of work in fourth year, and I'm just gonna try my best. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I don't have every solution right now because I haven't been in the role, I don't know the role, but I'm ready to adapt and learn and help people as best as I can. So yeah, thanks.
And Emma, yourself then?
I think the big words that we're looking for here is collaboration, and to have like a collaborative approach to helping students. So this could mean mental health wise, academically. I think all in all, it's all about different departments working together. So a big part of my manifesto people can look at is like developing a mental health agreement between the college and the students. So, and like that talks about collaboration across all departments, across students, and it's like should be revisited. And I think that that approach ties into all aspects of student life, and planning is another big thing as well. So if elected in June, we need to start thinking about, okay, yeah, if we are coming back on campus, okay, what if we don't end up on campus, and come up with strategies either way. For the likes of first years coming in, you know, how can they make friends? Okay, well, maybe a buddy program, or maybe setting them up so that they can talk to people from their course in third year or fourth year, and just to have the kind of explore different ways of interacting with each other on a more regular basis that doesn't just involve college work. And I think that the Sabbats this year have put in a lot of the groundwork for that. They've done fantastic work. So we just need to lead by example, I suppose, and take it as it comes.
Brilliant, thanks a million. And then final question, guys, right here. Maybe short if you want, but just kind of a general. If elected, what would be the one thing you want to achieve as Vice President / Academic Officer? So Emma, yourself first.
I've mentioned it already. My student mental health agreement is a big thing that I believe in. The higher education department did a study in the last year about student mental health, and I just think that there is a lot of pressure on fantastic services like the chaplaincy and the counselling service, whereas we need to kind of look at looking after each other after the year and a half that we've had, and really putting a focus on looking after each other basically. So it just shouldn't just rest on like it's up to the student to go and look for help. We all need to look after each other no matter how big or small the problem is. So it would be a big project, but I do think it would be something that's really important, and I have a lot of the groundwork put in with the research already, so it's something that I really would look forward to doing if I was elected.
Perfect. And Aoife, same question for you.
Yeah, I think making sure every student feels safe in college is something that I would hope to achieve. As I've said throughout my campaign, respect, inclusivity, and equality, they're my three main things. And not everyone always feels safe in college, whether you're part of the LGBT community. Like it shouldn't matter what race, gender, sexual orientation, it shouldn't matter. We're all part of the one community, and I think just making sure everyone is happy and feels safe is kind of all that matters to me, and making sure everyone is happy. And as Emma said, like, mental health is just so important, that we can't keep pushing this down in Ireland anymore. It needs to be addressed. So yeah.
Perfect. Thanks a million. So then, guys, finally, closing statements. So Emma, you get to go first. Minute whenever you're ready.
Perfect. I'm going to keep it short, but thanks everybody for joining today. And I'm not going to go on, but I think I'm the right choice for vice president because I'm passionate. I'm experienced in running events and working in a leadership role in voluntary organizations and stuff like that. And I just really, really want to be there to support students in any way that I can if I am elected. So please, please vote for me tomorrow.
Thank you, Emma. And finally, Aoife, your closing statement.
So I just want to say thanks to everyone so much for listening, and thanks for your great questions. Sorry. And I would just really love everyone's vote and support. I think I have a good heart, and I want to share that with everyone, and I just want to help others. I would just love your vote tomorrow, and I just want to say best of luck to everyone, all the other candidates. You're great. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. So that was the vice president role, and finally the president role. So if Roisin and John are there and turn their cameras and mics on. How are you guys?
Hiya.
Now, just a reminder, if you have any questions, guys, throw them up into the Q&A, ideally while the guys are giving their opening statements, but just make sure to get them in early. So, John, we'll start with you then. 1 minute on the clock, your opening statement whenever you're ready.
Hello, I'm John Maloney, and I'm running for the role of Misu president. I am currently an MA in Applied Linguistics student, and I also work part-time as a neuro-language coach and a TEFL teacher trainer. I am an active listener and a sound decision maker, and I would love to represent all MIC students in all college, social, and personal matters. I am an active listener and a sound decision maker too. I would promise to build on what Misu has achieved so far. However, I believe Misu can be much better, as there is always room to learn and progress. And if elected Misu president, I will plan to work professionally with the VP and all part-time officers to provide efficiently run, educationally effective, and rational initiatives. And what's also important to know is that I will not misuse the power of this position if elected Misu president, but I do plan to transform this power into a tangible. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. And then the same Roisin opening statement, 1 minute on the clock whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Roisin. I'm a fourth year on the BA in Contemporary Applied Theatre Studies programme at MIC. I'm very passionate about running for this role as president of the MISU. They've done great work in the past, and as a first year student, even second, third, fourth, like all my years in MRI, they have done great work, and I'm really passionate about being able to do that for other students. I'm a very energetic person, and I'm a very, very passionate person, and I believe that I can really fight for the students of MIC as needs be. I know COVID-19 has been very hard for students, and like as a current fourth year, I know how hard online learning can be. So I just want to be there and help students to get the best they can out of being in a MIC. I also want to make sure my main goal is used that I am like 100% supporting the students, whether that's emotionally or academically. I just want to be someone who's going to listen to them. I'm going to help them through any of the problems that arise through their time in MIC.
Brilliant, thanks a million, Roisin. So the first question anyway, guys, and John, I'm going to ask you to answer first. So the president is the elected leader of the MISU Executive Committee. What do you think is the best approach in leading a team of officers?
Good question. So I think the best approach to lead a team of part-time and full-time officers is to find out first what their strengths and weaknesses are. So if I know what their strengths and weaknesses are, then I know how to encourage and push them and maintain them to perform to their best abilities. And for example, if one of the officers comes to me with a problem and don't know how to analyze this or how to perform in the right way, then I will work with them to try and effectively produce an educationally efficient way to make sure that what they want to do is done properly and done, like, for example, make sure that the student knows, or make sure that the student has the right thing in yeah, for example, sorry, 1 second. So the part-time officers and the full-time officers need to know that I am going to be there for them, and I will always push and encourage and maintain what they have in their best notion.
Great, thank you very much, Dan. And Roisin, same question. And the president is the elected leader of the MISU Executive Committee. What do you think is the best approach in leading a team of officers?
Well, I think it's very important to collaborate, like Emma said earlier, like working online. Like personally, I'm currently on the committee for MIDAS, so I know what it's like to work with the team and to make decisions. Sometimes it can be very hard, especially with COVID-19, like the timelines shift a lot and the guidelines aren't always very concrete. So something that we learn very well as a CAT student is the ability to adapt in situations, to constantly be thinking. Obviously, it's great to have concrete plans and you want to stick to them as much as you can, but if plans change, I'm the type of person who can lead a group of people if they adapt and support them in that, because sometimes when plans change and plans adapt, people, you know, can get upset or people can be thrown by that. And I have the kind of approachable and kind demeanor that can support a team through something like that. I'm also able to help listen to people like that because I'm on the committee. Again, it's something that I can work on too, admittedly, is that being able to stop, listen to what people want, and then go to the correct people in the college to get that done for the students.
Great, thank you, Roisin. So the second question, guys, is kind of a two-parter question. So I'll give you all the time you need to answer a first part. If you need a reminder of the second part, just let me know. So if academic delivery returns to on-campus delivery in September, COVID-19 permitting, how will you ensure that it is a safe, welcoming environment for all students? But on the other hand, if online delivery is to continue, how would you ensure students feel engaged with the MISU? So Roisin, I'm going to go to you first.
Thank you, Daragh. So I think if student learning comes back on campus, it will probably be in a gradual situation. So I know from speaking to the current president and vice president that they sit on a lot of academic boards and they do a lot of work fighting for the students in that way. So I would make sure that if it's back, it is done in, obviously we want to be back, everyone wants to be back as soon as possible and everyone would love to return to college life like that. But I want to make sure that it's done in a safe way so that no students are put at risk, but also that it is a continuous plan. It's not something that is done, you know, we come back and then a week, you know, we're home again. We want to try and do it the safest way that will give us like long-term time on campus, and that like we can try run events as soon as safe as we can. So to have kind of maybe events that we can adapt to partially online and in person. And if online learning continues for the next academic year, again, like I said, because I am a member of the MIDAS committee, I know what it's like doing events online and helping students, even not always just academically, but just helping to support students in their general well-being. I'm also currently a CRAS rep and I'm on the academic committee. We had the academic subcommittee of Union Council. So we had a meeting a few weeks ago and we discussed like what we could do to help students in that situation, you know, to encourage communication between department heads. Each department in the college needs different things, you know, each student needs different things from different departments within the college. So to ensure that the students are listened to and that the correct people are kept in the loop about what students need to help them academically. Also to be able to give students a chance to, you know, have a break if students' mental health is, you know, compromised, or they feel like, you know, they need a break and online learning is a lot and they're very frustrated, that they can get the supports that they need to help them to continue to do online learning in the best way possible for them.
Good, thank you, Roisin. And then John, same question. Do you need me to repeat it or you kind of have the gist?
can you repeat it again, please?
Oh,
So
of
I want
course,
to
yeah.
answer it as properly as I can.
No worries. So if academic delivery returns to on-campus delivery in September, COVID-19 permitting, how will you ensure that it's a safe, welcoming environment for all students? And on the other hand, if online delivery is to continue, how would you ensure students feel engaged with the MISU?
Yeah, well, there is no knowing at the moment, but I want to make it abundantly clear now that I am prepared for both approaches, that if academic learning does go back on campus, I am prepared for that. And if it's online, I'm also prepared for that too. But to be honest, if it goes back on campus, there's always going to be a bit of online learning as well, because I think we've all got a little bit used to it during this pandemic. And I think the important factor here is that if the online learning is coming back 100%, that we need to understand that the drastic change from face-to-face to online learning issue is, I think, the competency factor. And many students are not technologically inclined, and I would like to help to change or rectify this if we go completely online again in the coming year. And I plan to work with LEAD in the college and the ICT team to help deliver workshops so students can make the most out of their online learning experience and make the best decisions. I suppose also included in this will be tutorials, and this could be done on campus as well, but specifically for online, which I think we have to promote as much as we can now, is how to properly work the video applications, because a year ago I didn't even know how to work Zoom or Teams or any of those. And I believe if students knew how to work these video applications in their webinars or in their lectures or tutorials, they would engage a lot more. And I'm aware that some students might be shy or afraid to type in the text chat boxes because they're maybe too slow at typing, and they're also afraid that if the conversation continues, that their question or their statement in the chat box might be deemed irrelevant. But I'd like to help rectify this situation. So I would like to advocate that it is okay to use the chat box at any time, and it is okay to type short and abbreviated messages as we would do on our phones every day. And there should be no judging here. And I think the students won't be losing their academic skills by writing, because they'll have enough to do in their essays and assignments. But they will actually be learning how to integrate their skills on different levels than if they do this. So yeah, I hope that's answered the question.
That's perfect. Thanks a million, John. So another question for you, and John, I believe you're to go first this time. So do you have any plans to improve the social aspects of attending MIC through clubs, SOCs, events, either online or in person, to enrich the student experience? So John?
Yes. I have developed or created a few socially entertaining events that I would like to run, and I'd like to run these initiatives for the coming year. Some include a mystery tour. Now, if we're back on campus, this one would obviously work better, but as I said, I'm going to be ready for both procedures and both outcomes. A mystery tour, for example, people won't know where they are going, so that excitement will be built up there, and then where they get to their destination, they will have socially interactive activities and events, and then a nightclub to go to as well. And this will be geared not only towards undergraduates, but it will also be geared towards mature students and postgraduates, that everyone will have a chance for this. If this has to go online, it will be run as a competition there, but it will be equally exciting. I also would like to have the open innovation for a college theme song or anthem. And I think this would be a brilliant feat for MIC to have. And also, I would like the students of MIC to help in the construction of this song or anthem, because students need to feel proud and privileged that they are going to such a prestigious college. And there are some colleges that do have songs or anthems as well, and you'd like to perform or sing these before each sport event or before each academic social event or whatever that goes on. And I believe that it's a great example of integration, that students will be working together and hopefully produce something that will be there for a long time to come. I would also like to advocate for a new position of mature students and a diversity officer in the clubs and societies. And the mature student is an integral part of MIC. Now, no matter how small the percentage of people are mature students, they still deserve a first person of contact in Misu. And also the diversity officer. And I want to make this clear that they are different to the welfare and equality officer, in that I would like the diversity officer to arrange events specifically for LGBTQ plus, the LGBT plus community. I feel that that community is well underrepresented in many SUs around Ireland, and I'd like to rectify this for the forthcoming year. And also, I would like to produce an online how to do skills workshops as well for students for coming in first year or second year, in that life skills, for example, how to change plugs, how do taxes work, what is a mortgage and how can we apply for them. These are all necessary skills that students need to have. And from my own experience as an undergraduate and many of my cohorts, they did not know how to do these life skills. And I believe workshops would really, really benefit them in that sense. So yeah, there are a couple of my new ideas and initiatives.
Thanks a million, John. And Roisin, then the same question for you.
Daragh, if you don't mind, could you repeat the question, please?
So it is, sorry, I've actually just deleted there myself.
All right.
But,
yeah, no further.
Student virtual events online, whether we're going to be in person or online.
Perfect. Thank you. So as I mentioned before, I'm currently the PRO and the Vice Chair of Drama for the Mary I Dramatic Arts Society, and we have run numerous events last semester and this semester, and we have upcoming events all online. Obviously, we would have loved to have been on campus this year, but that just wasn't possible. But I think societies are a huge part of what makes Mary I as a whole the great place that it is. Again, personally, I've had great experiences, but I think it helps students to have fun. In normal times when we're on campus and we're stressed with assignments and life and such, it just helps students to build friendships for life and to make those bonds and just remember your time in Mary I so much more. And I mean, there's such a variety between the 47 clubs and societies that we have on the Limerick campus and the 22 clubs and societies that we have on the Thurles campus. There's something for everyone. And I think as part of me being president, I would also still love to encourage students to make new societies. There's always space for more. If you have something that you're interested in, I would love to support students in their passion, because obviously we're in college for the academic side and we want to, finish out with our degree. But there's also a huge social side in being on the MIC campus, and that's something that I would love to help introduce with students. I would also, as I am now, continue to work closely with Dave Cuddihy in the Students' Union, because he does fantastic work to help the current societies and also help students in starting new societies.
Brilliant, thanks a million, Roisin. And finally, guys, Roisin, I'm going to ask you this question first, and then John second. A lot of people would argue that the student experience has changed drastically as we're in the middle of our third semester with online learning. What do you guys think about the change in the approach has worked? What would you think needs improvement, and what would you like to see done if you were to get the role? So, Roisin, yourself first.
Thank you. Again, obviously we would all love to be on campus, and that's what makes MRI like one of my favorite things, being on campus, seeing the people. But I think from being on the academic subcommittee of Union Council, when we had a meeting the last time, one of the students from Thurles brought up the fact that like having Union Council meetings be online helps to integrate the students in Thurles and in Limerick, and helps to kind of have a sense of togetherness between all the students, you know. So there's certain aspects online, or even having students being involved. Some of the events we've run virtually with the Mary I. Dramatic Arts Society have worked well, because we've had students, you know, be online, and people mightn't have had to travel, and it can kind of be more cost effective in some way for students. Again, obviously I have experience running events, and I would be able to adapt these to the societies at MIC to help continue this be great for students and their experience. Again, there's lots of stuff that I still don't know, that I, you know, until I would get the role, I wouldn't know what we would have access to in terms of that. But I'm open always to listening to students. That's my main thing, to see what works for them. You know, I have ideas for things that can work if COVID is still, you know, an issue, or if we're not on campus. But my main thing is to listen to the students and see what they tell me that they need from me if COVID prevails, and to do that in the best way possible.
Thank you, Roisin. And then John, same question. The learning is gone, college has gone online. What do you think has worked? What do you think hasn't? And if you were to get the role, what would you do differently?
Yeah, good question. I believe ultimately the online experience for learning has not worked as well as what was taught, but it was not predicted. I think what has worked well, first of all, is that students did try to communicate with each other, and did essentially at the beginning try to learn, because they have paid so much money for their college course. So there is some sort of communication there going. However, the online actually learning environment that the college has implemented is a learning curve, and people need to know that. They need to try things out, see do they work, see can they be improved upon. And I think LED, or the lead at MIC, are doing a fantastic job at the moment at trying to sort all the students' ICT problems out. I think for an improvement factor and something to work on for the future would be, as I referenced before, to have a lot of tutorials and workshops on how to work these video applications. If students didn't know how to work them, they would engage a lot more. I think they would get more out of the course. I have experience with listening to students' problems. I'm also class rep, and one of the recent things that I've done to help this on learning environment is advocate for an introduction module description video of every module. So it'll be a 5 or 10 minute video from the lecture explaining the ins and out of the module, and a quick assessment brief of it as well. And the response to this has been amazing so far. And I'd like to continue that initiative as well. Students need a little more from this online environment, and I believe that I can give them that in this role.
Thank you, John. So that's all of the questions we have for you guys now. The closing statements then, 1 minute on the clock. So Roisin, you're to go first whenever you are ready.
Perfect, thanks, Daragh. I just want to say thanks again to everyone for coming. I know people are probably sick of staring at their screens and everything and online learning, and thank you so much to everyone who supported my campaign so far. Again, I think I would be great for this role, because like that, I'm such a person who's like open to learning from others. I'm someone who's very supportive of others and listen to their problems and help them in any way. Again, I have great experience from being a class rep, being on the academic subcommittee. I know exactly what's been happening with students and what they need and what can change for online learning for them and when we're back on campus. I'm also the type of person who will really fight for students. Like, I'm a very passionate person, so anything that students need on their behalf, like, I will do for them. And I know housing is a problem for students too. I have lots of plans to help combat that. But again, I just want to thank you and thank everyone for coming tonight, and wish everyone the best of luck.
Brilliant. Thank you, Roisin. And finally, John, the same 1 minute on the clock whenever you're ready.
Cool. I want to thank everybody for listening, and I want to apologize for my miscommunication on the first question. Things got a bit rough, but anyway, I want made abundantly clear that all of my ideas and sustainments, which you can find in a more fleshed out version on the Misu website, can be adapted for on-campus or online fulfillment. And as I said, I am prepared for both situations. And ultimately, I will be a commendable asset to MIC as your SU president for the forthcoming year, because I am an inspirational project leader, precise in adult education, and have excellent interpersonal skills. So if you would like a MISU president that is extremely approachable, ambitious, open-minded, and has demonstrated experience in an all-round similar student role, then I, John Maloney, would love to offer you all this as your forthcoming MISU president. I would have really appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. So that kind of concludes our Q&A hustings with the candidates. Just a few closing remarks for you guys. I want to thank you all for joining. I want to thank all the candidates for running, regardless of what the results are. They're all a credit to the college. Just a reminder that voting will open tomorrow at 8 AM and will close at 6 PM. So make sure to get your votes in between then. If you want to see any of the candidates' manifestos, they can be found at www.misu.ie. And if you have any further questions for any of the candidates, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to answer them on their campaign social media pages. The counting of the vote and election results will take place tomorrow at 6:30 PM, results of which will be available on our website and on the Mary I Student Union Instagram page. Good luck to all the candidates, and I hope everyone stays safe. So thank you very much.